Hey guys and girls, how you going? Mark Hummer here, of course, again. I've got a little video for you today. We're going to be talking about my Ronin S. Now recently I've purchased that, I've had a lot of fun using it and had a few successful videos which I was quite pleased with. But I noticed some deficiencies in various circumstances and situations. One of which is if you're in dark hallways or it's getting a bit later in the evening and you haven't got the power of light around you that you would like. Now it's great to use natural light when it's there, but often cases it just simply isn't enough of it to do a good job. And particularly with trying to acquire focus, if you've got light onto a subject, you're always going to get focus better and you're always going to have a nice sharper image. So relying on ISO is great, if you can do that and that's appropriate, but if you can project light onto a subject, you're always going to get a much better result. And so what I've done with my Ronin at the moment, the Ronin S here, is I've put a ring light on the Ronin, on the camera, and then I've got a battery pack here to power it, and I've got a few other accessories. So I just wanted to run you through them so you can see how I've rigged this up, what I've done and why. So let me just turn it around for you so you can see what's going on in the front here. I'm going to be a little bit gentle and precarious with it because I'm scared that a thing's going to fall over on this rickety table. So just bear with me if I'm a little bit slow fiddling it around. Now what we've got here is a situation, we've got this ring light from Falcon Eyes. It's a Falcon Eyes 300 LEDs inside that ring, and that can be turned on using this battery pack, and that enables me to project light on a subject. Now being a nice decent sized ring light, it projects a ring light that's quite soft, and it's quite dimmable too. I can turn it up, power up, but I can also turn the power down and make it as soft or as amber as I like. So rather than just keep talking about how it's versatile, I'm just turning the battery pack on now, and I'll turn the light on and you'll get to see what I'm talking about. Now I'm sorry if that's a bit bright and harsh, but I just wanted to illustrate at its various settings what I can do. So you can see here I'm now able to adjust the amberness of the light as I wish, and I can adjust the intensity. So you can see here you've got a lot of variety. Now I'll turn that off because I know that's going to get really annoying and probably badly affecting the camera image. But I just wanted to illustrate that it does actually function and it's quite useful. In fact, the ability to be able to dim it down is more valuable to me than how powerful it may be. So having the option of having it soft, particularly if you've got a wide angle lens and you're coming in pretty close to someone, they don't want a bright light right in their eyeball. So you can dim that down, make it a bit more tolerable for them. Of course, light in the face is always a little bit annoying, but if you brace them in advance that it's going to happen, usually people suck it up and they do all right. So how am I powering this thing? Well, I just wanted to see, you can see that the ring light's up there, it's surrounding the lens, so that's the perfect ideal place you want it. I know some people might try and put a rectangular light up high, but then you've got the problem of it being very high elevation and the balance is very poor. And it really upsets the motorization unit. If you try and put a light down low, okay, that's nice and balanced, but then you've got light projecting up under their chin. It makes them look like one of those Frankenstein monsters lighting, it's not flattering at all. So I'm trying to make the light as flattering and practical as I can. In fact, this is really just a smaller version of the ring lights I'm using to light me now. So as you can see, that does a reasonable job of illuminating me. This thing does exactly the same thing, but I'm just on the movement with it and fly. So again, I'm going to run you through this battery pack and just show you how that operates. You can see here in the profile view now that it's a small little rail system. I've got two little clamps here just to keep it firm and in place. And of course this is actually quite weighty. It runs on two of those Sony, I think they're PL batteries, 970s I'm using at the moment, and that'll last me all day. I mean really, you get 3 hours of continuous use with double batteries like that, and because you're not running the video for 3 hours continuously, you'll be on and you'll be off and on and off again. 3 hours is almost an entire day's shoot. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is how quickly I can get this off to make things easier to transport, because sometimes you just don't want the weight on. You're holding it for long periods of time and maybe you're outside, you might not feel you need lighting. So in that were the case, can I get this off quickly enough that it's not a burden? Well, yeah, I can. Let me just illustrate how quick it is. So just turning it off for the moment, I unplug this. This actually will go up inside here to be out of the way. I've thought that through, it's a tube. And then to get this off, what I can simply do here is if I just undo these simple two little screws which hold the rail system on, I should be able to poke this through and get the entire rail system off, and there it is, it's gone. Now how long did that take? A few seconds. It's really pretty quick. And 9 times out of 10, that's actually the only thing you're going to have to remove. You can leave the light on, it doesn't weigh that much. I think it's about 600 grams. That's quite tolerable up there if it's well balanced. And in fact, if you just leave the light on, which doesn't weigh that much, it means you don't have to rebalance everything. You can just keep shooting as if you didn't have a light, and then when you need one, you can quickly put this back on in a few seconds, as I'll show you. Oh, actually, just let me show you how it's mounted first. You can see underneath here on the railing system how it's operated. It just has these two screws. Now these two screws here are the thing that's holding it into the rails, so I can remove the rails then just by adjusting that. So if I wanted to just remove the battery pack, I can without removing the rails, but of course it just makes it all more convenient to remove the whole kit. So again, just got to remember, you've got to turn that up to get it tight, twist them on nice and tight, and there it is. It's well balanced and secure. You can plug it in again, make sure it's safe, and power it up, and we're ready to go again anytime. Can I take the light off if I want to? Let's say I'm storing it and it's just hard to get into your bag. Well, yes, I can. It's actually really quick and simple. Let me just show you how fast it is to remove it. So first, of course, you've got to unplug it. Then I'm going to push that cord into that little holder that I've got here to keep it out the way. And then if I just undo this now, just going to undo this screw. It's only one thumb screw holding the whole thing on, really, in effect. So I'll just undo that. I'll try not to be too clumsy with it and drop everything. Here we go. That's off. Okay, so just relieve that, relieving the tension off the Ronin. That's what I was doing so I don't damage the motors. So I just deactivated the Ronin for a second, hence it's moved up. But that's all it is. It's only a very, this weighs so light. You know, it's just really a bubble of plastic. That's all that is, because all the weight is down here in the battery. So other than a few knobs here to adjust the various settings and turn it on and off, there's not much electronics up there. So to put it back, oh, I should also mention, sorry, that I have a little mount attached here in the front of the Ronin, which comes with the unit, and with a bit of Velcro or double-sided tape, you can very quickly and easily attach this. So just let me screw this back in, just make that safe again. It doesn't take long, it's actually a lot quicker than this. Because I'm doing it sitting down and upside down, it's all a bit awkward for me. But if I was on the go and on the job, that would be no trouble at all normally. So let me just reactivate this. There you go, now you've got full action. You can see here still the electric motors are all working. This is a fully functional unit. The light is not bothering it at all, and it's action. I can do anything I want. There's no problem with the movement, and the cables don't interfere at all. So there you go, just thought I'd show you the operation. I get it set. Oh, I forgot to put this power cable back in there, but even when that's in, that'll still make absolutely no difference to its movement. As you can see, I've thought this through and spent a bit of time making sure that nothing interferes in any way that's going to hamper the functionality of the unit. So there we go, all ready, steady, and I can film anytime I like. But this idea of having the light is just magnificent. I'm loving that. Now just let me turn the thing around to you again, because there's something else I wanted to talk to you about briefly. And that is this rig here. Now this is just a simple bit of 3mm aluminium bent like an L shape. A couple of screws into the bracket that I bought with this. There's a little handle that comes with it. I think I have it here somewhere convenient to show you. Yeah, here we go. So on the back of this neck, you have a little bracket. And you can put a handle on to help you hold the Ronin up. Now I don't ever use that, I have no use for it, to be honest with you. But the actual bracket here that comes with it was really useful, because that was a great mounting point for these pieces of aluminium that I bent to make for the cable holder. So here what we have is a bit of, I think it's 25mm square box aluminium. I've drilled some holes in it and mounted it in the center, and this is movable. See, it's not fastened 100%, but it's firm. And what happens here is if I'm finding that the cable is a bit catching on something, I can move it out the way or move it in, and with the various holes I can move it up or I can move it down as I find it necessary to make quick adjustments. It is actually quite quick and easy to change around. But this is not a handle. This is not strong for holding up the unit at the moment. This is simply for keeping the cables out the way. And you'll notice on the other side we have a little cable, of course, because we've got a microphone. So I'm using the little ME1 as an illustration at the moment because I'm recording my sound here with my other microphone. And this microphone here is more than suitable for some close proximity voice and sound work. So just showing you that's a primitive rig right now. That's not the way it's going to stay with this and this. What I've actually purchased is the correct handles that come out. Now they come out of these two little DJI mounts. You can attach them and you can hold the rig up with the handles. And then of course they have all sorts of adaptation holes and mounting brackets on them. So I'll be able to mount this cable bracket on that. I'll be able to mount the microphone on the handle on the other side. And and it'll be the same sort of a rig, but it'll just be a lot stronger and it'll look a lot more professional with proper hand grips. And that'll give me the option of holding the whole rig with two hands when I'm filming for a long time, and when I wish to go back to one-handed operation I can without having to remove them, because they're not hampering my grip, or they're not in the way at any stage. Now, they're talking about grip and in the way. I just wanted to say, you might think, oh, why is the battery sticking out a little bit? Why isn't it actually right up against the handle? Well, really, it's so I can actually get the hand in. If you have this all the way in, sure, it might be a little bit better balanced, but then you've really limited how much hand grip space you've got, and that can be really exasperating. So just by having an inch or so clearance, just make sure you can get your hands in. Just something to think about. Now, the next stage of what I'd like to talk to you about with this is this little strap here. You might say, well, what's this strap rig he's got on here? Well, I've got a D-shackle on this, as I said, this neck clamp that I've mentioned earlier that came with this handle when I bought it. And what I've done is simply put a D-shackle on the back, and with the various clamps and a nice, soft and comfortable elastical here camera strap, I'm able to strap that over the shoulder, and it helps me carry the weight. So not only does it support the weight of the unit by 50%, and that's particularly relevant when you've got all this lighting on, but it also helps you when holding it, because you don't have to actually put now the Ronin down. All I have to do is let it hang off the handle. And I'll illustrate for you in just a second. I'm going to remove this table, I'll stand up and re-rig everything so you can see me using it. So here we are back again. I'm standing up this time. Hope I'm in the frame. I'm sort of guessing a bit at the moment. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the Ronin for you. Here we are. I'm just going to illustrate here this neck strap and what the value of it is and how you use it. Now, you might think you just chuck it over your neck like that. And yeah, you can. That's one way of doing it, but it's not the most comfortable. The most practical way is have it like a shoulder strap like that. And then what you can do here is you're able to have hands-free operation now. You know, that can support the weight, and it's not really unbearable at all. So when you're filming with it, it doesn't actually hamper your work at all. Just give yourself as much slack as you can with the unit. And now I'm more than able to film, do whatever I want, pan, move as I feel necessary to do so, and you can film with it quite well. So this strap is a great idea, because what happens here is, just to illustrate, I can let go. Not that I'd want to let go all the time, but I've got a strong D-shackle and a professional climbing grip, so I know here that I'm not going to lose this. And this seatbelt material is incredibly strong. It's never going to just break, even if I'm jerking it around a little bit like that. Interesting enough, the stretchiness of the fabric behind me, it's resting on my neck, will absorb some shock. So that also helps with guaranteeing it doesn't snap and break. But right now, as you can see, I'm able to let this go. I could film like this if I wish to, taking the weight with the strap, making the whole procedure a lot more comfortable. So I just wanted to illustrate that. Of course, another option you have with these things is you can use these mounts here, the feet, to take the weight off. You can dig it into your hip or your thigh, and what that does, just take some weight off as well. So with the strap and that little brace around your waist there, no matter how much it weighs, it can be very, very tolerable. You can hold it here and do some filming for a good 10-15 minutes without any discomfort at all, and it wouldn't be a problem. So you might think, oh, all that extra weight, it'd be really nasty, but no, if you're sensible enough and you know how to operate the Ronin, you can have quite a positive experience. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about with this was, you see here I'm using this very small little tripod stand thing just so I can put it down on a table, etc. But it's no use to me if I'm actually trying to film very much. So what I could do is I bought something just recently from Lee Froto, a tripod manufacturer, and they've come up with this brilliant little arrangement. Now, it's only a very, very tiny Ranger travel, if you like, tripod. Now, the thing's made of the composite, the graphite fiber or carbon fiber composite. It's the LS224C. Now, this is not a very powerful unit. I mean, it's not something you'd use for filming a movie production, but it certainly is more than suitable for a travel tripod on location when you're hiking and you want it as light as possible. It really weighs nothing. It is very, very light, but extremely strong. Surprisingly, it does have a 6-kilogram payload, and this thing here weighs about 3 kilograms. I could have 2 of these on this. That's how strong it is. So it is actually very, very strong. Now, I'll just take the strap off because it's going to be near impossible to do this with the strap on. But what I want to do is just mount it, and with the simple attachment here if I can just see where I'm going, because obviously everything's a bit upside down for me, but I think I can get this on. Here we go. So I've got this little like tripod, and now what I can do is I've replaced the other tripod, of course. This is actually now come off, and I can use this if I want to sit this thing down somewhere. I can simply use that, and I could set it down. You probably can't see that too much, but it's down low. It's on its lowest setting right now, but that's very handy to have it on the floor just so it's safe. But if I want to extend it out, I can also, of course, do that as well. And it's not too hard. These little screw implements here are fantastic because they don't take very long, and unlike the clamping style, they're very, very secure. And of course this goes out quite a way. I'm not going to extend it all the way, for just the demonstration purposes. I'll just extend it 2/3 of its length, but I think you can get the idea now. You can probably see the height where I'm able to very easily put that down, and it's extremely secure. It's not going anywhere. That's quite safe. And if I wanted to film something now, I could leave that run, walk away, or wouldn't walk away from my camera of course, but I could be not holding it, hands-free operation, and that can be filming for a good half an hour without any burden to me. And of course, as we've mentioned before, the beauty of this whole setup is I can actually generate some lighting on the subject now too. So I'm not totally reliant on anything. So that's fantastic, isn't it? I think that's a great idea to have this rig. It makes it very, very versatile and useful. So I just thought I'd run you through some of those features and why I put them on. The little Leaf Photo tripod is a great invention because it's so lightweight. You know, when you look at it, you think, oh, that thing's going to snap under this load. But no, it won't. It can take twice this load, so don't have any fear of that. I've really bought it for two reasons. One, for using when I'm using the Ronin, but secondly, also for my travel photography. If I want to do some landscapes and I want to do a bit of hiking, I don't want to take this hideous monstrosity with me here that weighs about 4 kilos. That's insane. You know, just about to have a heart attack trying to carry that thing up a mountain. But this one here, very, very practical. So I think this could be really a winner. It does go up higher, as I say, than this. It goes up another 6 inches higher. But I've also bought something else from Leaf Photo. See, they make a little, again, it's one of those composite material extension necks. I can put this onto the tripod as well and gain another 1.5 feet. So not only can this go up about another 1 foot higher, but I get another 1.5 feet with this extension pole. And again, this thing weighs nothing. Right? It's so light, it's incredible, but very, very strong. You can have it compact down. You know, you can carry that around your pocket. You don't even know it's there. That's how convenient it is. And certainly if you put it in your camera bag, it's no effort at all. And this is something I want to talk to you about. When I was talking about this tripod here, they do give you a lovely little carry case, which is quite nice, and a bunch of little accessories, tools and clips and clasps. So that's all very good. But when I'm talking about hiking, and we're just illustrating about that, if you're going to do some nature photography, don't forget to buy yourself a collection of filters. You know, I think, what have I got here? I've got 16 stop, a 4 stop, and a circular polarizer. These are all 82mm because that would suit that 14 to 30 perfectly. So I just sort of illustrate that. Don't forget your filters because they're really important with outside photography. So I just thought, you know, I was sort of liking how this is going. Right now, the next stage I want to show you is a camera bag. Now, I just bought a camera bag for this entire rig, and you might think, oh, how are you going to fit all this into a camera bag? But I'll show you. It's actually quite inventive. I just went down to the Bunnings hardware store and picked it up recently. So let me show you through that. Now I've illustrated the tripod. So here we are again, guys. We're back on the operating table for the moment, and what I've got here is that little tripod I was talking to you about from Leaf Photo 244 model, and I just want to illustrate about how it goes out even further. So you can see here that it does go out quite a long way. So you know, you can have it as long and tall as you want. Now if I just put that up there, you'll see that that's quite a reasonable height, and consider that of course you've got another 2 feet high on the Ronin here, as you can see, so it's up about this high at this stage. And I was going to illustrate this neck that I was telling you about, a little extension neck that just screws in here, as you can see, lightning quick to attach, and of course you can go up, you know, quite a bit higher. So you can put your camera on that. If you were to put your camera on there, you've actually got a very good height for filming anyone or taking some portrait photos, when you consider you would have a bald head on it as well, so you actually got quite a good height. Very usable height. But for storage and packing, this thing is brilliant, and this is what I like about it, because it's very lightweight and very easy to put away because it doesn't take up much volume. Now if I can just put this down, I'll pack this one up for you. It actually isn't cheap. I mean, this is actually one of their smallest tripods they have, smallest and lightest, and I think this is about $250. So $250 isn't you know, a fortune to spend on a tripod, but just appreciate for something as tiny as it's quite a bit of money. So this stuff isn't cheap and nasty. It's just really good, light and strong. So I highly recommend them. I think it's a great product. So I'm just going to show you the packing up into the bag now. And as you can see, I put the little base plate on that, little mini tripod if you like, on the camera. And what I've got here is my new bag. So I'm going to show you my new bag for this. And isn't she beautiful? Yes, yes, from the company DeWalt. DeWalt make power equipment. They make drills and saws and all sorts of power equipment for, you know, on site, on building projects. But I'm not using it for that. I'm using it here for putting my stuff away. Now I'm just going to show you, it comes with a very good sturdy strap. Again, high quality. And if I can just show you inside it there, you can see it has lots of little compartments and zip bags and little storage places, and the whole thing is completely padded. Every part of this is padded out, so you don't have to worry about scratching or damaging your gear in any way. Now you may notice there are various accessories in it. I have all sorts of little places I can put components, cables. I can put a spare lens or two in these, and actually I'd be quite confident to do so because they are velcroed and they have a lid, so they're actually quite safe. On the other side of it, you'll see here you have another compartment that you can put things away safely, and you can put little bits and pieces in here as you need to. So it's just great as a carry-all, do-everything bag. Yeah, it's a bit bulky and big, but you need that for this unit because I've got quite a lot of stuff going on here. So let me just show you how you can put it away. Now firstly, I like to keep this on. I'd probably never take this neck cable off, but I'm just going to take it off just to show you that it is, and it does, and it comes off really quick and simple. And as you can see here, if I just undo it properly, and there it is, it was off. And it has this nice screwing thread on. Now I've chosen that on purpose because there's no time that I want this thing coming off while I've got it on the camera unit. Last thing I want to do is drop all that expensive equipment. So by having it quite sturdy, and also notice that the flat edges, it's triangular, so it doesn't damage this strap in any way. It's not digging in or cutting in any way to cause it any stress. Nice rounded edges, and with this it's very, very secure. In fact, it has a little hexagon shape around it, so if you wanted to get little pliers and put that tight, well, that thing's never going to come off. But anyway, that's the little strap. I'm just showing you it can come off, and with all those little pockets in that compartment, you can always find somewhere for everything. So talking about compartments here, you know, I've got all my little bits and pieces, so I'm just finding little nooks and crannies to put everything in. Here's another little unit. I can just lay that down. There's so much room in there, it just doesn't matter. That was easy to put in. And now as for this rig here, now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to try and put it in with these arms on, because that would obviously potentially cause quite a bit of damage. So let me just take this off. That would just reduce if I take the microphone off a bit. I don't have to take everything off, but that was one thing I'm going to take off right now. So again, I put that in one of my little pouches. And as far as everything else goes, I'm not going to take anything off. No, I'm going to dismantle this thing completely. There is so much room in this thing, why should I? I don't need to. It'll fit in there easy. So just let me make sure I'm actually sensible enough to turn this thing off. There we go, we're turning that off, powering it off, and almost powered off. And there we go, it's powered off. And what I'm going to do is just very gently and carefully lay it in the bag, making sure that nothing's damaged or crunched. And there we go, beautiful, that's in there. I can take my filters now. There are little satchels and bags. I can put them in. They're very safe. Any little accessories, endless amount of little pouches in there. What else could I want to put in there? Well, lenses. Let's say I wanted a few extra lenses. Let me grab one of those. So here I go. I've got a lens. Should I wish to, I could have it in the bag. Or I think in these little satchels, I think are actually the go. I might put one in that little satchel there. What else have I got here? My beautiful 85mm prime, which I adore. Now if you're really wanting to be careful, which I do, and I had the time, but I'm just illustrating right now, I'd wrap it in a towel or something and put it in there just to give it a little extra padding. But they go into those little satchels really well. So just to illustrate, I've just put the lenses in here, one in here, one in there, and that's just an option. I'm not suggesting you have to do that. I'm just saying, well, I can. So I just wanted to show you can. Now we put this up, it's a double zip lock, so how great is that? Double zip, so you're not going to have any insecurity issues there. You've got a bit of Velcro at the end there to make sure that stays down. And of course you've got the carry strap, which if I just illustrate here, goes over to the other steel buckle. These are very strong buckles. All this thing is built really well. Like this isn't a cheap, nasty piece of equipment. It cost me about $100, I think. But there you go, you can lift it up with that strap. Obviously you can put that over your shoulder to take the weight, and of course that's not such a burden then. But there is one other feature to this bag that I think, well, you've got to see it to believe it. In fact, I was actually surprised when I saw it myself. I was given a bit of a shock. You've got a little compartment down there, and what do you got? You've got a travel bag. So this thing here you can wheel along, you don't even have to carry it if you don't wish to. Isn't that the most amazing thing you've ever seen? I love that. That is just incredible. Seals that up. It's all sealed, of course, and quite strong and well padded. So look, I'm not selling these things. I'm not trying to make any money of this company or help them in any way, but it was just that when I see a good product that actually works and something that this thing, I can fit my entire Ronin and all the equipment, including the lighting, batteries, lenses, all the tripods and accessories into one bag. That is fantastic. And then to know that I don't even have to lift it if I don't wish to, I can wheel it along. Incredible. That's just fantastic. So I just wanted to show you through that. I thought that was a great little unit. Cost me about $105 or something for this bag. Probably the best investment you could ever make is buying a good bag that makes you feel secure and comfortable with your equipment. So this is pretty much all I got to talk about today. I hope we've had an interesting time together. As I get the double handle rig, of course I'll do some more videos on all the accessories I get as I get them. And then what I'm going to do also is try and have some time to get out and actually do some videos. And when I do, I'll use the Z7 to record them, and that'll enable me to show you how I use it on site and how practical or not they are. So I look forward to the next video with you. Hope you've had some fun and enjoyed something today. I'll of course post links to all the little products and gizmos that I've mentioned today. I'll put them up on the screen in the corner here. Then I'll also post them down below so you can find access to any of these items. And if you ever want to ask me about how I've rigged them up or how I've mounted stuff and you're not sure if you can do it yourself, well, by all means just ask me and I'll happily run you through it and send you some photos or links if I can help you in any way.